instead of calling it cress, you could say mini
Broccoli.
Micro broccoli.
Yeah.
But it's not micro broccoli because it's just broccoli but small. So it's like the micro pigs. They weren't micro pigs. They were pigs, but piglets.
They've got a poison garden and it's just full of all really poisonous
Sounds
plants.
like a place to go with the kids.
Come on, kids. We're going to take you to a poison garden. There's a chance you won't make it back for tea. I'd say 2 months. Those plants are dead.
Yeah, they do need water.
I hope I don't get done in by the RSPCA version of plants. Hello, Martha. Welcome to Things People Do. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Martha, this will sound slightly strange, but would you mind just holding your fingers up to the camera? What colour are you seeing there, Joe?
Well, they're like beige.
Beige? How do you realise you have beige fingers, Martha?
Well, I mean, last time I checked,
Like
yeah.
pinky.
What I'm saying, Joe, they're not green, are they? She doesn't have green fingers, but she's a gardener.
Yeah, why do they say gardeners have green fingers? They don't pick the grass. That's the only thing that's green, isn't it?
No, I guess it's just a turn of phrase.
That's
Not literal.
Simple. That's simple. Turn of
Right,
phrase.
okay. Well, Martha, when did you first get into gardening?
About 15 years ago. So I am actually by trade a TV producer and director. And so gardening's been my hobby for 15 years. So I went to Kew Gardens one day and I was in front of that wall of seeds, picked up a few packets, went home and became completely obsessed. And so I've been growing stuff for 15 years, but it's not actually my job. So a couple of years ago, I started making content about my hobby and here we are. So now I'm in a weird in-between where I'm sort of a TV director, sort of a gardener, sort of a content creator, author, weird mix of stuff. Strange transitionary phase in my life, I think.
It's the way of the modern world, Joe, isn't it?
You be you.
Mm.
You be whatever you want to
Well,
be.
yeah, giving it a go.
All right. Comes from a place of love. Now,
Green-fingered love.
green thing. What do you want me to do with that sentence? Okay. I'm trying really.
We
hard.
haven't even got to the hose section.
The what section?
The hose section.
Oh my God.
I know.
We're going to do a hose section.
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
Can't wait.
Yes. Anyway, back to Martha. Martha, with your gardening hobby head on,
Yeah.
what was your first successful thing you grew out of all those packets that you took off the wall when you first got them home?
Oh, God, I grew all sorts the first year. I mean, things always get eaten. Grew some great cucumbers. I feel like I'm going to tread into dangerous territory of anything phallic at this point. But, yeah.
You grew cucumbers.
Fantastic cucumbers, big, long, straight cucumbers. Yeah.
Is the cucumber an easy thing to grow, Martha?
Temperamental, Got a life of their own.
Seriously, though. No, stop it now. Stop it. Seriously, though, how do you grow a cucumber?
Well, you...
Hang on.
So many...
How do you go about growing a cucumber?
I'm going to take it literally.
And
Please, yeah.
that is what
Yeah,
it's
okay,
meant as.
good. You need some cucumber seeds.
Yeah.
And...
So do they come from the cucumber?
Yes.
Where else are they going to come from? How is the cucumber...
Well, do you know what? This isn't as weird a question as you think, because people sometimes say to me, you show them how to grow beans, and they look at them and they're like, "But these are just beans." And you're like, where do you think they come from? Or you can grow garlic from garlic, and people are like, you take a clove of garlic and it turns into a bulb of garlic. I'm like, well, what do you think? But it's good.
Yes, they're thick. Yeah, they're so thick. What I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by Tom was, as in the seeds from inside the cucumber.
Well, you can seed save, but it's a bit more of a laborious, and slightly complicated genetic task, because some things cross-pollinate and then the seed won't grow the cucumber that you're looking at. It will grow a combination of the two that cross-pollinated. So you can't always save seed from everything. But when it comes to cucumbers, I usually buy a packet of cucumber seeds.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And
Makes
then
sense, Joe, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I just wondered how they'd go about drying those really, really moist seeds. Because whenever I cut a cucumber, I don't know how to get the seeds out. And I'm going to move swiftly on to a different... What about cress? Did you ever...
Well, on this, do you want to? So
I do want to know,
Okay,
but
okay.
Tom's like
So-
made me out to be a thicko. I'm not thick.
no, I wouldn't have thought so for a second.
Why did side-eye Tom there?
So when you've picked a cucumber for eating, it's actually not like it's immature, so the seeds are not fully developed. So if you wanted to save seeds, you have to let the cucumber like grow until it's like old and gone yellow, and then you cut it open, the seeds are much bigger and they're like different. But the reason you don't do that is because if you leave the plant to mature like that, it stops producing other cucumbers. So because it's just trying to make seed, that's all plants are trying to do, right? So if you let it produce seed, you won't get any more cucumbers. So that's the trade-off that you make. And that's why your cucumber at home has only got little soft seeds in it.
Yeah. How does it feel to be outdone by the guest after less than 10 minutes?
Did you ever grow cress in school?
Yeah, our cress is a bit of a recent hobby of mine,
Is
if
it
that's
a
a
cress
thing.
hobby?
Yeah, a little bit of a cress hobby, or like posh cress, so micro greens, you know.
Oh, okay.
So like cress is like baby plants. You're eating baby plants. They're like tiny little seedlings of cress, and cress grows into a big plant that obviously flowers and produces seed, and that's
Fuck
yeah,
off.
like yeah,
Cress grows bigger than this.
yeah. Well, how do you think you get seeds to grow more cress?
I just think they're really little seeds.
Tiny seeds.
Tiny little flowers. No, like yeah, they grow into big plants.
What the fuck does a big cress plant? What does it look like?
Well, there's different kinds of cress. There's mustard cress, so that's mustard leaves. So that grows into. There's lots of different things in the mustard family. Like you can grow giant red mustards. You can grow like pak choy and things are part of the mustard family. So and then there's like curly cress is a slightly different. It's actually a different shaped seed. It's a different plant family. So curly cress, mustard cress, different kinds of plants. But the posh cress that I grow is like mini pink kale, broccoli, like purple radish. So it looks like cress, but it's like baby plants of loads of different edible plants.
Oh, I see now. I see what you're saying. The cress is just the mini plant.
It's just the baby bit,
So
yeah.
you could, instead of calling it cress, you could say mini
Broccoli.
broccoli.
Micro broccoli.
Yeah.
But it's not micro broccoli because it's just broccoli but small. So it's like the micro pigs. They weren't micro pigs. They were pigs, but piglets.
Well, that's exactly a really good analogy because people bought the tiny pigs and then they grew into big pigs,
And they were
right?
like, what's
Because
that?
people thought they were going to stay small, and that's like your cress. You've got your cress. I mean, it won't grow big in your little like container, but if you planted it in the garden, it would grow into a big plant.
How about that for an analogy?
Joe, what was the very first thing that you grew, and what was the last thing that you have grown?
Marijuana
Okay.
and marijuana.
Successfully? or-
No, hang on. What did I grow? Have I ever grown anything? I don't think I've ever grown anything. I think I've put a celery stick in food colouring.
All right, yeah. At school.
No, it was at home.
Oh.
Because I'd seen it on Blue Peter once. No,
What? What happened to it?
well, it didn't grow.
Just went
It
a funny
just-
colour.
I think it was purple, or it was red and then turned purple. Went up the celery stick.
Ooh.
So it was like, this is magic. Because I thought celery from the shop is dead,
Oh, well, yes, that's the mistake a lot of people make.
but it's alive.
Yeah, well, some of it's alive.
Yeah.
I've grown lots of things from the supermarket. I've got big lemongrass in my garden. I've got mint, parsley, loads of
All
parsley.
from supermarket
Yeah.
products that you
Yeah.
just go, oh, fuck it, I'll just take a bit of that off, bung it in a pot, and it grows.
Well, like usually you put it in water so that it gets roots first. So like mint is incredibly easy to propagate. You literally can like strip most of the leaves off and just stick it in water. It'll grow roots.
Propagate.
Yeah, like, you know,
Okay.
like replicate a new plant from a piece of it.
Breed.
So like
Spit it out.
sex.
Um,
They're not actually having sex, are
It's
they?
like asexual reproduction. It's like a clone. So it's like
Oh, like the sheep.
yeah,
Like-
sort of.
like Dolly. Dolly the sheep.
Yeah,
She was cloned.
she was cloned. You're right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Twice now. Analogy, analogy and sheep. Thank you. Last thing I grew was I had a bonsai tree.
Did it die really quickly?
Yeah, it was really hard to
Is that what
look
they do?
after.
Well, I've only ever I think I stole one from a party once and went on holiday. When I came back, it was dead.
Karma there, wasn't there? Mark?
And yeah.
They're hard to look after.
They were like, it was like props. It wasn't anyone's actual. I didn't steal it from someone. It was like an event,
Someone's
and they'd put
backtracking.
on a, I put it in a Krispy Kreme box and like
Belonged to someone, though, didn't it? Ultimately.
not really.
Well, everything belongs to everyone, so they say.
Exactly. Yeah, I was liberating it, and then I took it home, and it died because they're very.
I was liberating it and then killing it.
Yeah. And they need like watering quite a lot because they're so small, aren't they? They dry out very quickly, and so it was
really
dead within
hard.
like a week.
Yeah, mine died pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Even though I bought like a full-on fucking pruning set.
I bet you did. You got bang into it before you'd even started.
It was like serial killer standard. This like setup. I had a big like folder, unzipped it. I've got like these pruning scissors
Yeah.
where you push instead of
I can picture them
Opening.
like little
right.
snippers.
Yeah.
snippers.
Yeah.
And then like all different wires to tie different things to get the plant to
Really?
go different, all that lot. More pruning scissors. Basically a lot of blades. A lot of blades
Yeah.
that I was using on that.
Was that where it went wrong?
Did
do
you just
think?
chop it into
Yeah,
pieces?
Well,
Cut down your bonsai tree, like
yeah,
Jack and the Beanstalk.
That's kind of what I did. But anyway, that's the thing. What about you? Have you grown anything? What like
Um,
plants? What about pumpkins?
Wow, that was real excitement there. What was?
You
They
do
grow
pumpkins?
fast, don't they?
What pumpkins?
I've never grown a pumpkin.
Oh.
The things I'm growing at the moment are quite modest, I think, in comparison to things probably that Martha has grown. The classic houseplant on the windowsill.
Yeah.
That's where we are at the moment. I'd say the best room is probably the bathroom. We've got 3 successful living houseplants.
That's very good, yeah.
The fern,
Mm-hmm.
the cactus.
Yeah.
Some sort of round, rubbery looking thing that's quite hardy. And if one of my kids accidentally spits toothpaste in it, doesn't seem to care.
That's basically what's in my bathroom as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Why-
Most of my plants are in the garden and not really in the house, to be fair.
Well, hang on. On that bathroom plant, why the fuck? I've got 2 plants in my bathroom. And every time I go in there, I'm like, why the fuck are they in here?
Can plants smell?
Hope not.
Sorry, what? Can plants smell?
Mm.
And I'm the thicko.
Simple
Am I?
question. Well, they're absorbing things from the air, aren't they? Photosynthesis.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant can plants smell? As in, do they smell? And I was like,
What, you mean, do they have an aroma?
yeah. But you mean, do they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as in, do they die if I
That's
have
what I'm thinking.
toxic shit?
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Right, yeah, I'm with you now. That's probably why my plants in the bathroom look so sad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, okay.
It's no life, really, is it?
No, it's no life, but the life of an outdoor plant is the complete opposite. That's
Fresh
where
air.
Yeah, that's where we're at with you, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Mostly. I grow a few edible things on windowsills and things. They're not really my houseplant category, though. I keep those alive. And then my garden is my main garden allotment.
Okay.
Like,
Is there anything in, well, either your garden or our gardens that we grow that is dangerous without us maybe knowing?
depends what you mean by dangerous. I mean, you can grow lots of poisonous things.
I'd say that's dangerous.
That's up
dangerous
there.
for me.
That's up
Yeah, like foxgloves, for example.
What?
What's a foxglove?
The danglers.
No,
red thing?
foxglove is like,
Is it like a bing, 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 bing?
it looks like, they're about this tall. They're kind of like a woodlandy flower, and they have like bells shapes all the way down, and bees love them, but like, eat a leaf or 2 of that and you'd be dead.
What?
Really?
Yeah, there's a park near me that's got oh gosh, what's it called? There's loads of really poisonous plants. Like there's ones that that have got enough in the root to kill a cow, and they're just like in nature. That's why you have to be, or like giant hogweed, like burn your skin. There's actually a garden. I can't remember which garden it's at, and they've got a poison garden, and it's just full of all really poisonous
Sounds like a
plants.
place to go with the kids.
Well,
Yeah.
sounds like a really fucking shit day out.
But loads
Come
of,
on, kids, we're going to take you to a poison garden. There's a chance you won't make it back for tea, but come on down, you know
it's a
what
bit
I
of
mean?
excitement, Loads of plant. Like if you think about it, actually, plants can't move. So
That's
the
true.
way they protect themselves in nature is
Not-
often to
not
be
true.
poisonous.
Not true.
Are you thinking of sensitive plants, the ones that fold up when you touch them, or a Venus flytrap?
I was thinking of them as well. But I was also thinking of plants in general because they all move. I've seen those like 30-day transitions where it just goes from there and then it's moving up. What's that if that's not movement?
Growing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good answer, actually, isn't it?
She's doing that to me a lot.
I think so.
She's got answers to everything.
What about rhubarb leaves?
Yeah, they contain oxalic acid. I don't know how much you'd have to eat to make you sick. It would probably give you a bit of a funny tummy.
Unpleasant rather than death.
Yeah.
Unpleasant episode, Joe.
But it's the same as like selenium. So like tomatoes, potatoes, they're all part of a family of they're deadly nightshade, like related. So I wouldn't eat like potato leaves. I don't think they're like as toxic as a foxglove, but like there's plants that you can eat all of, like broccolis. You can eat any bit you like. And there's plants where you just want to only eat one bit because the rest of it is not good. And that's things like anything in the deadly nightshade kind of family.
I mean, then the fact it's called deadly nightshade should probably act
Gives it
as-
away.
Yeah,
Oh, actually, sorry, deadly nightshade you shouldn't eat any of. I just want to establish it. But yeah, in the nightshade family, not the deadly nightshade family.
Tasty nightshade. Go for that one first.
What about some mushrooms that grow in the garden? Like, are any of them dangerous? Can I eat them? Can I pick them up and fry any mushroom in my garden?
No, definitely not.
No.
No,
But if I cook it in the same way,
no,
if you heat something over 100 degrees, you kill all bacteria.
no, because it contains toxins. It's not, and also like that's not true either, is it?
Is it not?
I don't know if you got like a piece of rancid fish and like cooked it for long enough. I still don't think you'd want to eat it, even on your special diet.
I was happy to engage in that bit until the patronising tone of special diet came in. And
This
I
has
went,
been, so far, this episode has been one of the great debunkings, hasn't it, for you? It's like it repeats itself.
so if I've got rotten fish, yeah, I
mean,
know
this is not
fish
my-
isn't your
This is
your
not my area of
specialty,
expertise.
but
I'm
if
happy
I've got
to
rotten
speculate.
fish, I'm frying that.
Why? Get
No,
fresh fish.
Yeah, but I say I can't.
Okay.
So say I'm Tom Hanks
Yeah.
in Castaway,
Yeah.
not the real Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
the
Because
character
he
he
could probably
played.
afford it. Yeah.
And there's a rotten fish.
Yeah.
I heat that up to over 100 degrees, edible.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure there are people that definitively know the answer to this question. I would say there's like bacteria that makes you sick, and then there's toxins produced by things that make you sick as well. And I feel like not everything is destroyed by heat.
Okay.
On the basis of your respective answers so far, my inclination is to trust what Martha says rather than what you say, Joe.
Yeah, I'm feeling like that's the vibe.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go down that route more. So with that in mind, what about some advice on how to successfully grow a plant? What are the foundations I need to grow an outdoor plant? Let's say what's my favourite? What's your favourite? What's your favourite fruit?
Well, that's a good question. I'm going to say because of the extraordinarily hot weather we've been having,
Oh, Sicilian lemon.
the strawberry.
Oh,
Oh, very nice. Yeah, much sweeter when the sun's been out.
really?
Yeah.
So
Well, 'cause
what
it
is the-
produces more sugars. So if it's cloudy, your strawberries aren't nearly as sweet as if you pick strawberries when it's been sunny, they are sweeter. Yeah. I mostly grow fruit and veg in my garden.
Yeah.
I like flowers as well, but like, yeah, my little garden's just absolutely packed with. I've got like pears, apples,
You got
kiwis,
pears?
nectarines, figs, oranges.
Figs?
No, yeah,
Your garden's baking.
lemons, grapes.
Grapes.
Yeah,
The
they're
Garden of
new
Eden.
this year. Yeah, actually, that's what the scaffolders said this morning when I went out. When they were taking the scaffolding's been up for like 8 months, and the guys were taking it down today. And my pear tree is like literally underneath the scaffolding. And I saw them doing the poles, and I opened the door, and I was like, "Please be very careful of that pear tree." And then as I walked off, I heard him go, "It's like the Garden of Eden," and I was like, "Yes."
That's.
And then
what
I
you
found a
wanted.
bit of my pear tree lying on the patio.
No.
But you know, you can't win them all.
Was the partridge okay?
No, it flew away as well.
Also, if it was the Garden of Eden, then you'd have to look out for your apples because one of them would be poisonous.
Hey, you haven't answered my question. What's your favourite fruit?
Strawberry.
Okay, but my question was okay. Then
What's yours?
if it's strawberry, how do we go about growing a strawberry?
Well, strawberry's a great container plant.
Meaning?
Well, as in like you can grow them in containers. They love it. They get nice and warm in there. You can get the fruit to hang over the sides. So when they do like commercial strawberries, they tend to do them almost in like raised guttering, so all the fruit hangs over the side. So if you're imagining the same sort of scenario, really good in a hanging basket. I've got some in a little window box.
Basket strawberries.
Yeah.
You never heard of a hanging basket strawberry?
No.
Hey, it's like Babylon.
Yeah, it would be.
I do one where I stack all the pots up, so it's like a tower of strawberries.
Like a waterfall of strawberries.
Yeah,
I was thinking more of like a chocolate fountain of
I
strawberries.
know you were.
Thank you. Sorry.
yeah, both. I think both
Both.
work. Yeah,
No, pick a side.
chocolate fountain.
Thank you, Martha.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Good
Jo-
answer.
Joe, I'm choosing the strawberry.
Okay.
What fruit or vegetable, if you could only grow one, are you growing in Joe's garden?
Well, I've got loads of. I've actually got an orchard in my
Wow.
garden, and I think that means. What does that mean? I think that means I've got fruit
Trees. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of apple trees in my garden.
Nice.
There used to be more, but I chopped them down
Why?
because they looked weird.
What?
I need a bit more room for the football pitch.
Mm.
I'm covering my ears.
No, I didn't get rid of them all. We've got 1, 2, 3. I planted a new one.
Oh, nice.
That's like 5 years old now.
So
Yeah.
you chop down a good one to plant a new.
No, see, I think from my little knowledge I've got, I think this one was shot to shit. It had like loads of, I want to say mould
Yeah.
or like bark and all that lot, and it was all like it hadn't been looked after, it hadn't been pruned.
Yeah.
and
when
I
they
was
get
like,
old, like
I need to put that out.
yeah, I think fair enough.
Yeah, goner. The others still grow them. Like there's these apples that come down. We've never eaten them because I've no idea.
You just let them fall off the tree and go rotten.
Yeah, the dogs sort of sometimes eat.
You can make
them.
cider.
Are they cookers or eaters?
I don't know. They're green.
Mm.
They're like some of them are
Are
fuck
they
off
massive?
green ones.
Yeah, they sound like cooking apples. You can make cider out of pretty much any kind of apples. That's
Do a nice baked apple.
but they never really get like good.
maybe it's because maybe if they're cooking apples, they're just always sour and they never got like the right. You're there for turning into apple sauce or baking.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is they've
raisins
never even got
inside.
they've never even got good for that.
Oh,
So I think it's so. What I'm saying is, how do I look after them?
You
Or
got
how
some blighted trees from the sound of it. You got some apple blight going on there.
apple blight? Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know how to look after an apple tree.
Have you been pruning that?
Okay.
Okay. Well,
When do I need to prune it?
you prune them in the winter.
What for?
Well, it controls the shape so that they don't just end up with loads of random little branches crossing over.
That's
Improves,
what I've got.
You want to prune it into a goblet shape, so it's got a nice open middle, and so you sort of like
No, I've got fuck off like
yeah, that's why you prune it.
floppy hands.
Yeah, all sort of
everywhere.
like,
The arms are every.
and there's loads of little twigs coming off in all directions.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So do you think I should put that one out as well?
No, you can prune it now. Well, not now in the summer, but in the winter, have a go at like taking out anything that's pointing into the middle or crossing over or dead.
And why
just trim it
wouldn't
back.
you prune it in the summer? Why do I have to do that in the winter?
Well, there's different plants respond in different ways. So things like stone fruits, your cherries and nectarines and stuff like that, you can't prune in the winter because if you do that,
Or a plum.
yeah, exactly, because they're all part of the same.
Just name a fruit with a stone in it to just try and get some bonus points back from Martha. Yeah.
Avocado.
Yeah, different family.
Is it? It's got a stone in.
That's a valid,
Valid.
logical,
Valid.
valid.
That's a phallic fact. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, so you prune them different times of year. It just is what's better for the plant. So, and when they're like more likely to get infections and stuff like that.
Let's say I am capable of doing it and I go back to my apple tree that
Mhm.
I've planted and I want to do best. Could I have maybe put some shit in the floor or fertilizer to make it thing or pesticide or what could I have?
No, not pesticide.
Oh,
Bad for the wildlife. So-
pesticide. No pesticide.
Yeah, because it kills all of the pollinators, and of course we need them for a thriving ecosystem.
Of course.
Yeah, you can put some like good organic matter into the hole when you're planting your tree.
Does that mean
you can
shit or-
Yeah, it could be shit. Could be like homemade compost.
Why is manure good for growing shit?
Because basically anything like when we talk about organic matter, it's what feeds the life in your soil. So soil is full of lots of like bacteria and fungi, and you need to feed them with organic matter, and then they break down the organic matter and release nutrients back to your plants. So that's why you add it. That's how you get all of the things that plants need, is by feeding the soil, and the soil feeds your plants, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But you can mulch your apple trees. So in the winter, you can like put a layer of like wood chips or again compost around the base of it. That helps keep moisture in, keeps the weeds down, feeds the soil. So that's the sort of thing that you do with trees.
I've been going about this so wrong.
But also, they're all right. Trees. You know, like an apple can grow in a field. Like it will still produce things. I don't think you have to get too hung up on the details with gardening. I think like most of it comes from whether or not you can be bothered, and if you pay attention and then like observe what's going on and see what works. That's kind of.
I do enjoy it, but I have lost quite a bit of confidence in my.
I'm not surprised.
My God, ever since I fucked off a wisteria.
Oh.
Yeah, like
what happened?
Well, it was out the front.
You had no idea it was a wisteria?
No, I knew it was a wisteria. I didn't know what a wisteria was, though. I knew that Daisy was like, whatever you do out front, don't touch the wisteria. And I was like, yeah, okay.
I'll chop it down.
I know what that is. I didn't know what it was, but I knew what it was. Do you know what I mean? As in, I didn't know which one it was. There was a fuckload of plants out there.
All you knew is there was one plant out there you couldn't touch, but your mission was to get rid of some plants.
Yeah, it needed clearing up and all that lot. And I just really lost the plot and just fucked it all off.
The whole lot?
Yeah, like chopped it all down to its like stump and that. And it'd taken years to like really start twisting around the front of the house.
Yeah, quite pained me to hear.
Yeah. Right, I've got a question for both of you, or rather, something else. I'm going to call it the World Cup of gardening tools.
Oh.
Okay. We've got quite a long way through this World Cup. One of the remaining ties, trowel versus hand clippers.
Oh.
Trowel's versatile. You can use it for many things, like digging, small areas.
Just little holes.
Little holes.
Planting.
Potting.
Are you going for the trowel then?
I'm going with the pros. Cons. No, another pro, really good for picking up dog shit.
Yeah.
So it doubles up. Or cat shit. Yeah. Cons. There aren't any, I don't think.
I think both are very useful, aren't they?
We have to have one winner, though.
Have to be a winner in the World Cup of gardening tools.
I think probably trowel as the more useful for more things, especially beginners. Like once you're into clippers, maybe that's a bit. It's not advanced, but it's a next step ahead.
Is there anything else a trowel can do? So,
no, and I would use a trowel like in a pot. I'd just use my hands. But obviously, when the ground is a bit hard or something, that's when you can't dig it with your hands. So you need a trowel, don't you?
Bit of scraping. You know.
Well, it depends. Yeah, I scrape weeds, but if I'm trying to like plant a plant, I need to dig a little hole, don't I? Whereas like a pot, if you just got compost in it, you can just go like that, can't you?
So on that basis of what you both said, I'm going to put the trowel through to the semi-finals of the gardening tools World Cup ahead of hand clippers. Our second quarter final is the rake against the hoe.
Oh, hoe all day. Sorry, I'm a really big hoe fan. How about you, Joe?
Where do you stand on hoes?
Plural. We are talking about.
I prefer rake.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You're a tidier though, aren't you?
I am a tidier.
You're like a garden Well, you just cut down the whole wisteria, so you're like someone who looks at a garden and like, I must turn it into like
barren wasteland.
Yeah, inside of my house. I want an outdoor.
You've taken down half your orchard. So many trees that you don't even call it an orchard anymore. You started off calling it an orchard, then you realised how many trees you'd felled in that mad destructive burst to try and get a football pitch slightly bigger than the previous football pitch.
Decent football pitch, though.
Is it flat?
No, it's on the wonk a bit. But I've done a new football pitch in the front garden now.
Okay.
But there's a stump that I need to get rid of. I think that's from the other apple tree.
Have you seen those videos of the stump removers?
Yeah.
They're cool, aren't they?
Churns it all up. Oh, it's fantastic. And then actually just churns it into the ground, doesn't it? So, yeah. Soils.
Feeds the soil, organic matter.
Told you, organic matter. Plants feed plants. That's the circle of life.
Listen.
I also like rakes because I've got like Pebble Beach and it gets all like thingy, so I like flattening that out.
Do you like a rake, Joe, that has its angle fixed, or do you like one where you can slide to widen the talons and narrow the talons?
What sort of rake are you talking about?
I think that's more of a leaf rake, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So you can
talking
go like
like
that, and they go like that and like that. Whereas
exactly
like I just have like I only ever like rake the surface of a bed, so I've just got one of the standard. I don't know what you'd call it,
Yeah,
just like that.
just the
Bit
teeth,
more
the
sturdy.
teeth one.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
square teeth, like a comb,
yeah,
like that thing.
yeah.
For the leaves, it's fucking leaf blower, mate.
Okay. What's your raking technique, Joe? Are you a single scrape, or do you like a?
No,
double
it's
scrape?
whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Like I'll go over like gradually. It won't be like one thing. It'll be like 3 in 1 to level it all out. It's quite satisfying, actually. I do really appreciate that. But we're going to go with a hoe, probably because Martha's joy at the word coming out. But also, what the fuck is a hoe?
A hoe is it's like a sharp edge about this wide,
Yeah.
and it's for cutting weeds down at the surface level. So you basically, instead of having to pull weeds out, I garden in a way that's called no dig. So you don't dig over the plot, you just feed the soil and you try not to disturb the structure of it, because it like is more fertile and productive and better for like the environment if you just leave it alone. So a hoe you use just to scrape over the surface, and it cuts all your little weeds off. Or if you want to clear an area, or if you've got your rows of veg and there's loads of weeds, you just get your little hoe. You get a hand hoe, get a long handled hoe, then you don't have to bend over. And so you just do that, really. I just don't really have much use for a rake. I've got a very small garden, and I just sweep the patio. So a rake, occasionally for the beds, but I haven't got a big lawn, you see, with lots of leaves on it like you.
Are we putting the hoe through to the semi-final?
No, we can put rake. I mean, it's also a big garden versus a small garden matter of taste, isn't it? I think.
I'm going with the hoe.
Okay.
Okay.
Our third quarter-final in the Garden Tools World Cup. The shears. This is not really a like for like. It's an unusual matchup. The shears against a watering can.
Well, do you want to go first? I jumped in last time. I'm trying to contain my excitement.
Watering cans are just pointless. What's the fucking point? There's rain, which we get loads of.
Not at the moment.
We're driest spring in 70 years at the moment.
We use a hose then.
Yeah.
Where's the what? What do you mean?
Watering can is more precise.
No, what? What's the matter with your
Mark,
hose?
can you make a case, please, for the watering can?
Yeah, I don't have a garden tap. So I have to get a hose and bring it into my kitchen, and then like take it out to the garden, and then I water the garden, and then I fill up the water bar, and then I put it all back away. And then when I want to water the garden, I fill up a watering can. And also, if you want to feed your plants, for example, you might want to put a bit of plant food in your watering can, but you can't do it with a hose, can you?
That's true.
So it is a pain if you want to water a large area. You don't want to be walking back and forth with 100 watering cans.
I don't water large areas. I don't actually water anything. Is that why my plants die?
Have you got any plants?
Yeah, my wife, we go out to the garden centre every year, and we say, "Oh right, let's go get our plants today." In fact, we're doing it this week. I was like, "Oh, let's get the plants," and then we do all these plants, put them in all the pots. They're nice pots, and we put it around the patio bit, and then around the front house. We're like, "Fucking hell! I've tidied up. Like the garden's all clear. It's been mown. Is that a word?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mowed.
Moan would be fine.
I don't know.
It's been cut. All the grass has been cut, and then it looks tidy.
Tidy.
And I'd say 2 months. 2 months. Those plants are dead.
Yeah, they do need water.
But how often?
Well, it depends. Are they in pots?
Yeah, they're potted plants.
Yeah, pots dry out really quick in the heat. Pots, especially terracotta pots.
Most of them.
Yeah, which are nicer and I think a better thing to plant. But they do kind of like draw the water out. They evaporate much more quickly. And so, I mean, my garden is really hot and dry, and my pots are quite small. But in this weather, I have to water them every couple of days. Or at least put a little dish under them so that when you water them, the water like sits in there.
I hope I don't get done in by the RSPCA version of plants. Is there like a PETA for plants?
Could be.
I think there should be. And if they are, then I'm going to change my ways after Martha's talking to, okay? I'm going to water all my plants from now on.
I mean, you are like doing what I think the primary thing that people get wrong with gardening, which is that they plant it and then they come back like however long after and they're like, oh, what's happened to it?
Yeah.
And, not to sound too sincere about it, but gardening is a process of like engaging with plants and nature and nurturing things and going out and being like, oh, I'm excited to see what's happening now, and like, oh, that flower's opened, and like watering it and kind of paying attention. So that is maybe where you're going wrong.
Which is why, I guess, more often than not, people who are of a certain age and
Stop looking at me. Pointing your great hands
have
at me.
stopped working as much
Oh.
now have more time to engage with such work, and then they're better at it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to find some excuses for why I don't take care of my plants enough. And it's because I'm busy, is it?
Yeah, busy, and like people have all got different interests. Like, I don't know anything about cars. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've all got different things we're interested in. So I don't think you have to feel bad about it. I think if you want your plants to live, then you could like come up with a new strategy involving watering. But you don't have to suddenly get into gardening if you've got loads of other stuff going on.
Joe, on the basis of what I've heard, I'm going to put the watering can through.
Watering can.
Classic quarterfinal. It's the sort of Argentina versus Brazil, or France versus Germany.
Okay.
Fork versus spade.
I don't really do a lot of digging, but I suppose a spade if I'm planting a tree, but otherwise I don't dig, so neither of them that much.
No, they're both shit.
But we need a winner.
Okay, on the basis that if someone broke in, you're going to fend them off more with a fork.
Why?
Pointy.
And have you not seen Shrek?
Okay.
All the farmers are like, and they shit themselves. So we'll stick with the fork.
Okay, we're going to have a rapid fire semi-final set up. So we have trowel versus hoe in one semi-final. The other semi-final is watering can against fork. Trowel versus hoe. Martha.
As much as I love a hoe, I'm going to say trowel. I just think it's got more uses.
Agreed. Versatility wins.
The trowel is through to the final, where it will meet either the watering can, Joe, or the fork.
It's watering can.
Which brings us to the World Cup final of gardening tools, which sees the trowel up against the watering can.
And on 3,
Yeah.
me and Martha will say the winner.
Okay.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Watering can!
Oh.
Yes! Beautifully aligned.
Yeah, that's great. Wasn't even prepped.
No.
I nearly said trowel because of its versatility, and you can just pick up loads of dog shit. But
Now you're going to water your plants. You need a watering
exactly,
can.
and the watering can also provides literally the water of life.
Yeah.
The elixir of life. The life's elixir.
Just water.
It provides water because you put water in it and then pour it out.
Yeah. And it keeps things alive. So I think you were on the right. I think it makes sense.
Hardest plant to grow.
Oh, of what? Of things I've tried to grow?
Yes.
Peanuts.
Oh.
Wrong climate.
Peanuts are plant.
melons. Peanut is a wild plant.
Hang on.
Can I just tell you about peanuts?
Like a crazy plant or one found in the wild?
No, I mean, it's like the way that it grows is crazy. So it's part of the bean family, which is why it's called a pea nut. Peanuts actually grow underground. So they're like underground beans. So if you imagine like when you get peanuts in the shell and then you think of like a broad bean, for example, like same. But what actually happens is peanuts flower above ground. And once they're pollinated, the flowers drop, bury themselves in the soil and grow peanuts underground.
What?
Crazy, right?
Fucking hell.
Next time you're smashing
That's
a
why
dry
it's also-
roasted, bear that in mind.
Nature is fucking awesome.
Which is why it's also called groundnut oil when you get like peanut oil because they're
'Cause it's
ground
growing in the
nuts.
ground.
Ground nuts, yeah. Crazy, right?
And they're really hard to grow.
Well, they're just used to a hot climate, so I've tried to grow them in the UK. It's not hot enough, so they just never like get going. But yeah,
So the peanut is the hardest plant to grow. I think we need some help here, Martha. I'm looking for your favourite gardening hacks.
my favourite gardening hacks, I reckon, is growing herbs from the supermarket. So, like we've talked about mint already. So you can buy a packet of mint, strip the leaves off, put it in water, grows roots, put it in a pot. Don't plant it in the ground; it will come up everywhere. I've had a pot of mint like that for 3 years. pot of parsley, in a pot of
So
parsley.
you've never had to buy mint again?
Yeah, it's like perpetual, everlasting mint. Yeah,
That's such a winner.
it's really cool.
I can't wait to do this. I'm going to fucking do it, and I'm going to do it properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and water it.
And that
Your
Yeah.
World Cup winning watering can.
watering can, yeah.
Exactly. Parsley, and so like if you buy a pot of parsley, there's actually like 20 plants in there, so you can split them all up. So in my garden, I've got like a planter, probably like this size, that I split up all the plants and dotted them around like last year. And I've got a huge patch of like 100 times more parsley than you get in a pot. And now it's starting to flower. So parsley lasts about a year. But for a year, you can just, I'm talking like huge bunches of parsley. It grows like this big.
When that parsley flowers,
Yeah.
so that means it's no good to use anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, generally speaking. I mean, sometimes if you cut it back, it might continue to grow. But like plants are either perennial, so they'll live for years and years, or they're biennial, which means they have a 2-year life cycle, which is like parsley. So the second year it flowers and then it's kind of done. Or an annual. So you plant it at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year it dies. And then you need to start it again the following year.
When you say start it again,
Yeah.
so it dies at the end of that cycle, do you fuck it off?
Yeah.
So
So-
that can't come back to life for another cycle
No.
from that same plant. You have to fuck it off
Start
and start
again.
again.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now I'm getting it. That makes sense why I go, some of the plants we buy,
Come back and some don't.
I was like, well, they've fucking come back. Like, they've done all right. What are those twats doing? They're just fucking, they not like it here or whatever. But that's because I have tried looking after them in the same way the others have survived, but they just don't come back.
Yes, well, I think this is where you have to like absolve yourself of the responsibility, because if you know what the plant's going to do, then you can predict whether or not it's your fault. So coriander, like people always ask me about coriander because they're like, it's really hard to grow. Coriander will only last about 3 months if you're lucky, and it's better in the cool. In the summer, like now, plant coriander, it's going to flower in a couple of months and then it's done. So, but if you know that going into it, you don't feel like a failure when it happens because you're like, oh, that's just what it does. Whereas like mint, live forever, rosemary, like perennial herbs, chives, they'll just keep going and going.
But dill, I like a bit of dill.
Dill, short-lived.
Oh.
Yeah. But
Would
you
you
just
put
keep
dill on?
re-sowing it.
I don't have dill. I made a
Bit of
very-
fish.
Yeah,
You made a what?
I made a fish and I put. I had some lovely dill on it. Thanks.
Of course you did, yeah. So that's supermarket hacks. What about any other hacks that might work in the garden?
Hacks. I mean, there's loads of things you can propagate free plants. You can take side shoots from things like tomatoes and grow them into a new plant. Strawberries produce like little baby plants that's naturally what they do at the end of the summer is they produce like free mini plants. You can pot them up and keep them. Taking cuttings.
You know a strawberry?
Yeah.
You know the stuff on the outside?
Yeah.
So they're seeds.
Yeah.
You mean the strawberry seeds?
You can grow strawberry plants from a strawberry. Yeah. They're just like, it takes so long that people don't bother doing it because the little mini plants are much quicker.
So I could take one of those seeds. So I'm eating seeds. Is there any truth in the fact that if I eat a seed, it's going to grow in my belly?
I
Are there? Tell me the truth now, Martha. Are there any seeds that you know of where the conditions of my stomach are perfect for growth?
I mean, I don't know. The diet you're on at the moment, possibly.
Wet, dark,
Acidic.
acidic, but I can balance that out with some
Milk.
You read my mind.
And some yogurt.
And some feuillet.
Yeah.
Any seed? Is there any truth that if I eat an apple seed, an apple tree is going to grow in my belly?
No.
Give it a crack.
But like, yeah, report back. Eat a whole load of seeds. It's good fibre, isn't it?
Yeah, do some seeds. Can you have seeds under your current? You can't, can you?
Phase 2, I can.
Okay, phase 2. What's that one called? Consolidation.
Consolidation phase,
When you get out of the attack phase into the consolidation,
which is in 8 days.
Super.
Yeah.
Neck a load of seeds.
Seeds.
Um,
Fuck, how does that work? How do you get sunflower seeds and then nothing grows from them?
Well, you've eaten them and chewed them up, haven't you? I can, on this subject, if you're interested to know, chili seeds, for example, right?
Yeah, they're fucking hot.
Really spicy,
Yeah.
yeah? Birds have got no receptors for capsaicin, so they don't feel the spice. They eat the seeds because birds swallow them whole and then they fly around, shit them out. And chilies like come up in the wild. That's how they get spread around in the wild.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
So the birds are just
Yeah. Well, they They poo them out, don't they?
Oh, okay. The
Because
birds.
it just passes straight through. But they don't want mammals to eat them because mammals with their teeth are going to chew up the seeds. So that's why the spicy affects mammals and not birds, because they want birds to eat them and they don't want mammals to eat them.
This, mate, honestly,
Some stuff going on.
I'm getting into gardening.
How about this, Joe? Because
How about it?
I've been wondering, as we've been talking, Martha, some ridiculous black and white dichotomy between what's better to grow, flowers or things you can eat. I think I've already made up my mind. It's the edibles that I'm interested in. So with all those amazing things that you are growing in your Garden of Eden alone, let alone the allotment, what is the single best thing you have made and then consumed?
The best thing I've made, like food in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, what off the back of
From the
what
Garden
you've
of Eden.
grown?
Can I give you like a 2-course menu?
Yes, please.
So in the summer, I pick aubergines, cucumbers, I pick chilies, I make like a roasted chili tahini hot sauce. I'll do like a baba ganoush, or do like slices of courgette pan fried, cucumber salad, tomato salad. Then I'll make a stack of homemade flatbreads and we'll have that. And then my favourite thing to do with my pears on my pear tree is to poach them and make a frangipane pear tart. And I took, for my friend had a wedding in a perfect time, like October last year, grew the bouquet. So actually I do love flowers, and lots of edible things have beautiful flowers as well. And then I made a pear and frangipane tart for her wedding as well. So that would be my top things.
That's pretty cool,
Pretty cool.
isn't it? To actually, in a way, I'm trying to compare this to Olivia, the embryologist that we had on, where she talked us through how she does it all with the sperm and the egg, and then knocking out the sperm and putting him to sleep, and then putting him in the egg and all this lot and then sort of nurturing this environment. And although she doesn't get to see them grow up, but she knows that they have grown up in a really nice environment. That's what I'm comparing you doing that with your food and your fruit and veg and all that, to then put on a plate and womp it all down. That must be a nice feeling.
Yeah. Well, like, you've watched it grow, haven't you?
Yeah.
You do get a bit, you're kind of like, yeah, like you've watched your aubergine flower and like, yeah, grow into beautiful aubergine. No, I don't know why I picked aubergine actually, sorry. But yeah, I sort of, it's a bit sentimental, but I think it's like, it's captured the sunlight that's fallen on my garden and it's turned it into food. So it's literally like you're eating the sunshine from outside your back door.
Eat the sunshine.
That's a fucking quote and a half, isn't
the
it?
sunshine.
It's like you're eating the sunshine.
Here we are.
Who wouldn't want to eat some sunshine?
That is cool. Can we get that quote put in this
I think
somewhere, like on the wall? You know
Eat
those
sunshine.
stickers you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eat the sunshine.
Eat my sunshine.
Ruin it.
Okay.
That was poetic from Martha. You just fuck it off like that.
Joe, I don't know about you. I've massively enjoyed talking to Martha about all things
I
gardening.
could do
even
another
if
fucking hour or two.
you could do
I
another
don't
hour.
think Martha could.
No. Well, you know, we talked about gardening tools, and I think there's a couple sitting opposite Martha today.
Well
Martha,
played.
if people would like to hear more of your wise words and your expertise, you've got a book.
I have got a book, yes. It's called Give It a Grow.
Nice.
And it's got things about growing veg, fruit, flowers, doing wildlife projects like building a pond, and did I say flowers already? It's got loads of great stuff in there. It's, achievable in small spaces. And came out this March. Was a Sunday Times bestseller.
Superb.
And go and buy it.
Mega. I love it when you're given a chance to really plug something for it, and they're like, yeah, I loved doing it, but then it gets awkward when you're like, oh, yeah, go and fucking buy it. Honestly, go and buy it. I'm going to fucking buy it.
Yes.
I can't wait for that. What about social media? Can I find you on social media?
Oh, yes. I am on social media as Marf, M-A-R-F-S, Marf's Kitchen Garden on the Instagram, TikTok. Oh, I'm going to be doing more on YouTube as well. So
Smart move.
Marf's Kitchen Garden.
Marf's Kitchen Garden.
Okay. And do you mind if I follow you?
I think that would be okay, yeah.
That's okay, even after today.
Yeah, even after the shotgun.
Thank you.
Come along, just so you can learn to water your plants and all of the rest of it. Not cut down the wisteria.
I have actually grown a wisteria since, and it's lovely. But
I hope so too.
it's grown up the side of this shitty wooden shed that sort of is falling down, and I need to get rid of it. But I can't touch it because of what I did to the last
cursed
wisteria.
again. Well, just maybe I don't know. Reinforce it, build a new frame under it.
Well,
How far is it away?
Can I take a little bit of wisteria out of it and regrow it?
Yeah, if you want to wait another 7 years.
It has been that 8 years actually.
Yeah, that's how. I mean, to start, you need a good decade. My mum's is 40 years old, and it's incredible. But you have to really invest time in a good wisteria.
So just quickly, what I did to the first wisteria was really bad.
Well, you cut it down, didn't you, and killed it?
That's pretty bad.
So I should apologise more. Okay, that's fine. Martha, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers, thank you.